none of these other cores can really go offlane that well.
Yeah, Weehaw is their position 1 player, and he grabs the Storm. Pretty safe to assume he'll be going to the safe lane. That one we've seen quite a bit. Safe lane Storm can be quite scary. That offlane Quap I'm a little nervous for.
I'm really worried for 4 Clovers, to be honest. Like this, it feels like the Spirit Breaker has to do so much work in the laning stage, because Empire, all they need are levels, right? They get level 6 on Zeus, they get Bloodseeker. There's no particular level, like level 6 to 10, I would say, or so, anywhere in that range. Axe gets a blink, and they just go. They just run at you. All these heroes are squishy outside of the cow, and they're very easy to find pickoffs.
Like once Axe gets a blink, if he jumps on the Quap, jumps on the Storm, a Berserker's Call could be enough to just blow
my Dota has
up.
decided to pain when I'm not holding down. Okay, I think that somehow the alt key got stuck. I'm like, why is it painting every time I click?
He's really excited today, guys. He just wants you to see where all the heroes are.
Dota!
Sticky keyboard.
You bastard. All right, well, with that, guys,
no comment.
LD and Kalagai will take it away for our opening series of Empire versus the 4 Clovers and Lepricon.
All right, Coda, here we go, buddy. It's going to be our second cast in the past 2 days. Looking forward to it, man. We'll go through the lineups here quickly. You've got the Leprechaun men, Sexy Bambo playing the offlane Queen of Pain. He's going to hide his Observer Ward at the tower as he shows himself in lane. Maybe he wants to make them forget that he might be going for a bit of a ward placement. We'll have Vankscore handling that. Witch Doctor, Weehaw on the Storm Spirit. Waga will be playing his iconic TA, and that does leave EGM, Mr. Eggum, on the Spirit Breaker.
All right, and on Radiant's side, we got Team Empire, TI5 direct invites. Along the bottom, we got Silent. He's going to be playing your Bloodseeker. Resolution's going to be playing your Zeus along the bottom lane. Already playing footsie right now with your Queen of Pain. We got Aloha Dance on his signature Rubik, getting a nice telekinesis pullback. Always Want to Fly is going to be playing your Dazzle. Last but not least, and I wanted to ask you, in recent time, I heard it's going to be Yoku, not Yoki, if I'm correct. And he's going to be playing your Axe.
Oh, you mean for the pronunciation? I was like, oh, is this Yoki's evil twin or something?
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of Yoku as of late.
I think I read that somewhere. Maybe it was on Twitter or something. Someone was asking about it, but maybe it was Reddit. I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't think it's actually Yoki. That's just what's easy for me to say, so I may end up saying it this cast anyway. But so you're saying it's Yoku then? Do you have it in good authority?
I'll call him Mr. Yo if I gotta, but for now, he's going to be playing Axe, and you got to remember, it was Star Ladder Season 11 where it felt like he was the pioneer of bringing Axe into this meta. He put on some of the most dominant Axe performances I had ever seen in person. It was out of control, so maybe he's looking to shine back to those golden days. We'll see what he can do. He's going to be repping a solo offlane, though, against a lot of range, a lot of harassment, and what is a very, very mobile team in the 4 Clover squad.
Yeah, we're going to see, meanwhile, mid lane, Zeus versus the TA. And so far, Zeus is doing a pretty good job here. This is a matchup where he can always just sit back and spam. Once TA gets level 6, there's maybe that slight kill potential, assuming the support doesn't rotate in, but these are 2 very strong defensive supports, so I think this mid lane should go reasonably well overall for Empire. Waga maybe going to slightly pull ahead in CS, but I mean, so far, Resolution on 9 CS, really laying into him. Waga did start with the stick, very helpful against the Zeus, but Zeus already with a bottle on the way. I do want to point out that Bambo got his ward down. We do have a pair of sentries here on the supports, but no D-ward just yet.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to be holding it in reserve, and it's going to be interesting mid lane matchup for Waga. This is his prize TA. This is probably the hero he's most comfortable with in the mid lane, and to be already shut down early from Resolution has got to be a somewhat demoralizing. So hopefully, going to be looking to stay headstrong. He gets a regen rune already in his bottle, but top, we got to charge out. Onto Axe, they're going to bump him back, followed up with the cask. He gets an early spin. It's not going to be enough to take him down, but enough to at least force him back and force him to chew through his salve early. So he's going to be down to just 1 tango left. If you look at the other side of the globe, Sexy Bambo, no regen left. He has to do the long walk of shame back to base and then TP back to this bottom lane.
He's level 1.5. That is... The struggle is real, I guess is the way to put it here for him. He's not gotten much out of the lane, and it was just one of the weaknesses of the draft. It's a bit of a greedy way to finish things off, going back for the Storm, and although Storm is CSing reasonably well thus far, It puts a lot of pressure on him slash the TA to make things happen here, moving towards the mid game. And frankly, I think if this is an even laning stage, four Clovers are going to be really up against it come mid game. And so far, it looks like it's a pretty even start. If anything, Empire getting more for their supports here as we see them continuing to get these pull-throughs off. And meanwhile, in the Radiant offlane, the camp was blocked by the Axe, and well, they're getting their levels for now, but they can't really go for that double pull or do anything too bold.
Aloha, not Aloha Dance, but always want to fly. The Dazzle, roam mid lane briefly just to drop that helpful sentry, which is super important against the TA. As she gets close to that level 6, it's good to just know where those traps are. The infamous saying is you're going to get to TA. If she gets 2 traps off, you're probably dead.
Bambo, bit of pickle here, but he'll TP out home. Second time back to the well, still level 1, no Shadow Strike. Disastrous start here in the offlane, and this is a Queen of Pain offlane. This is not a hero that can just go catch up in the jungle, not without level 5 to 7. It's a hero that needs farm to have an impact later on. I'm already extremely worried for 4 Clovers.
Yeah, this is not an easy early laning phase. Pretty much across the board, with the exception of Weehaw and his Storm, but even then he's only 3rd, now going up in 2nd as far as CS goes, but the person who's having the easiest, breeziest time is Silent here in the bottom lane on his Bloodseeker. And we'll have to see how proactive he's going to be. Like I said, didn't get to see much of Empire playing this hero. Might have played it a bit in the show match, but they also did get swept. They got swept from Virtus Pro in that show match, so you kind of question how they are as far as this new meta goes, as far as going against some of the top teams. But for now, it's just 4 Clovers, so this is their chance to kind of work through it. And he might just go straight for a Midas, which is something we've been seeing as recent as yesterday on a lot of these Bloodseekers. Just kind of getting the easy farm for now. But this is going to be a long game for Bambo on this Queen of Pain. I don't imagine her being relevant anytime soon unless she gets some assistance and partakes in some kills.
And the problem is, it's a Bloodseeker who's ahead, right? So Bloodseeker loves to trade. He'll go in, hit you a few times, go deny it, and last hit a couple creeps. Suddenly he's at full health, and you've blown through your regen. Well, in this case, Bambo has no regen. He has managed to hit level 2, but any second now, Silence is going to be going for that kill attempt. Bambo able to find his way into the trees just in the nick of time, but if he gets ruptured, likely to go down before he can even TP, I want to say. Maybe he gets away, but it's going to be tough, just given how fast this Bloodseeker is and how hard he hits. He's hitting for 100 already, and that's not even counting the potential rupture damage to come out.
Waga gets some harassment onto Resolution in the mid lane. Has that one trap, but not the second. Can't do the back-to-back. Ward there in the mid lane. And they also tried to charge it on out.
Bottom tower is under attack.
That. Bottom lane, you can see Bambo stepping away as there's a long dive. Now they get the slow onto Aloha Dance, but there's not going to be a follow-up yet. Waga's here, has a DD, but it is going to be lifted and thrown back, so not going to be able to follow up with anything. So, trades here and there, but 6 minutes in, no first blood.
It's really tough here for 4 Clovers. Bambo has the tough start. Pretty much what you expect, given he's versus a tri-lane. I don't really think he misplayed too much. Maybe could have avoided a bit of the harassment, gotten that ward down earlier, but I don't think Bambo really did anything horribly wrong. It's like at least 90% just a function of the matchup. And the thing is, who's going to make the play? They're going to try for the go on mid, but there's always this Dazzle TP Grave that I was about to mention to counter it, and well, the charge in at least forces a double TP, so that's pretty nice, but it doesn't lead to a kill ultimately. And now the Zeus gonna TP himself home. It's just gonna, and all it cost them really bottom was a rupture, which is already off cooldown. It forces out 2 TPs from 4 Clovers, and it's just gonna keep on happening here for Bambo. If he shows himself in lane for more than a wave or 2, Bloodseeker will whittle him down, rupture him, and either he TPs out or he dies. So things looking very dicey here already for 4 Clovers. I don't know who's going to make the plays. I guess that's my main worry right now, is maybe it's the Storm, but even then there's the Dazzle counter initiate. Really strong counterplay potential from the Bloodseeker and Zeus duo, who can just wreck a Storm if he's used all his mana, or even a decent amount of it going in. They're going to have a hard time finding that hero could have an impact. I would have said the Spirit Breaker, but he just hasn't gotten it done already, and we're now 7.5 minutes in.
And by the time that they get to what you feel like is going to be their prime, you're going to have someone like Axe on the other side who will have his Blink Dagger, and then things could get very, very sticky. So we're still charging on 4. We have yet to see any bloodshed, but for now, it's just casual as we go. Bambo back in lane. I guess the nice thing for Queen of Pain is her new increased blink range makes it nice, so when the Rupture is there, he can actually blink far enough to get out from the extra bit of damage. Unlike yesterday, I think we saw an anti-mage go against a Bloodseeker, and it's not long enough, so he would frequently almost get himself killed just trying to blink away from trouble. At least Queen of Pain doesn't have that.
That was brutal. There was the one fight where he blinked twice while ruptured, because it just lasts so damn long now. It didn't used to last this long before the rework to the hero, but it is pretty painful when you see that happen twice in a fight, and it's pure damage as well, so your spell shield's doing absolutely nothing for you.
Aloha Dance gets up telekinesis. There's going to be the Rupture. Does the blink, and as I said, it's far enough where it's not going to take the extra damage. Go for the TP. Oh, makes it out the last second.
Dyer's bottom
Man, if he
tower
hit
is
just
under
like what
attack.
felt like for 5 points stronger, it would have been done for, and we would have finally seen our first blood. But Bambo be able to quick react back to base.
Even getting away there, though, that's still good for Empire. They forced the offlaner out of the lane. Meanwhile, Axe is level 6, farming towards that blink you
Dyer's
mentioned.
structures are
Oh,
fortified.
mid lane, Resolution being dove, but the
Dyer's
TPs are coming in, and now
bottom
always want to
tower
flies
is
here.
under
Do they have any detection? There's a single sentry on Aloha Dance, but he can't get in range. Waga doing a really nice job of creating some space, forcing out TPs twice now. But still, I just feel like it's a 4v5 game, Dakota. They're even to some extent, the supports of 4 Clovers feeling a bit underwhelming. Haven't had much of an impact compared to the Rubik already hitting level 5 here. Soon we're going to see Aloha Dance getting that spell steal and a lot of decent spells to grab this game. So I think Bambo's his good play is just not feeding, but that's all it really is.
Yeah. I mean, if this was anyone else, it could be a couple of feeds, and then the game would be over from the start. Bambo, he's able to etch himself out. But as you pointed out before, it's to get away from the lane, and it's good for everyone else. But here we go, telekinesis back, able to blink away from the extra damage. A rotation is going to be coming in. Looks like one was canceled out, the second one taking much longer. But here we go, Weehaw stepping away from the top lane here. It's a long dive, so it's a lot of mana. They didn't look to turn it around. They get a blood right down. He still gets hit from it. So this is very unfortunate. He makes a committed rotation with a lot of the team here, even Waga coming in, and they're going to get nothing forward. I mean, you have EGM on the Spirit Breaker. Doesn't really feel like much of a Spirit Breaker game. Where are my charges? Where's my, Enforcer, my Bruiser? Doesn't seem to be here. The Bruiser's going to be coming in the form of this Axe, who is getting closer and closer to a Blink Dagger. Damn near 1,800 gold already.
Yeah, who do you charge, really? You can't charge the Rubik generally. He'll just lift you. If you charge and the Bloodseeker's in the neighborhood, you'll get ruptured and probably end up going down. You're also charging into a lot of just general burst damage and counter gank. The TP Grave can disrupt you pretty hard. Axe is a very difficult target to bring down. It's just a tough game for Spirit Breaker to be like the hero that initiates every fight, and that's where ideally the Storm steps up, but they were ready for Weeha's rotation. And again, you could see the idea for 4 Clovers. They get ruptured on their Queen of Pain. She just blinks and TPs out. And as you've correctly pointed out, it's a good point that, well, it's just enough range on the blink that you don't actually take the rupture damage. It feels like it doesn't matter, though. He's just forcing TPs out constantly, keeping the enemy offlaner completely under-leveled, and it doesn't cost them anything. It's just the rupture mana, really. It's just a win, even if Empire get nothing. And 4 Clovers, they were close to that potential kill, but now we see Aloha Dance stealing blink.
Yeah.
This could be a big spell for him to make some plays with.
And Aloha Dance making plays on Rubik is just like putting butter on a roll. I mean, it's just going to happen. We'll have to see. And getting a free Blink Dagger in a game like this is going to be very itchy to try to make something happen with it, especially in a game where we're approaching 12 freaking minutes without a first blood. I don't know what the hell's going on.
It's going to erupt.
Sides.
I feel like once the fights start this game, they're not going to stop. You've got so much damage on both teams. Very squishy heroes across the board, aside from the Axe and the Spirit Breaker. But yeah, it just hasn't come quite yet. We're still in the calm before the storm. I would not, if you asked me how many kills would there be at 12 minutes, I would have said like 10, not 0.
Wasn't it yesterday we saw a game where it was like 4 kills in 20 minutes, or even 2 kills in 20 minutes, and then the next 20 minutes it was like 40 kills. It felt like it was ridiculous, but Here we go. This might be the time, LD. We got a smoke. Empire on the move here. They still
Oh, and
got
they
that
have the
blink on
ward.
Aloha Dance. They got a blink on Yoki, the Blink brothers, and they're ready to make something happen. They see Waga, and it's going to start. Blink in right with the burns. They're looking to spin to win right here. They're going to zap with the Fade Bolt and the Zeus ulti. A lot of hate, but off with his head. Waga's going to go down. He's going to be your first blood. They're looking to converge. Weehaw shows up, runs on in. He's got a haster to work with here. Can he get the pullback onto Aloha Dance? No. Has to jump back and away. They're going to drop down a very nice death ward. It's going to get the finishing blow. 3 going to drop all day. They have Silent looking to move on in. Yoki's caught in the back end side. They get a nice bash to bring him back, but EGM's still going to go down with a dunk. Weehaw is able to clean it up, and look at that. It ends up being a 4-for-2 trade. The team that's going to be coming on top with the first brawl is going to be the 4 Clovers and Chuan.
Man, what an amazing fight. Excellent death ward, as you point out. That was definitely the key there. But Weehaw with the haster in rotation, very quick to get involved. That fight just single-handedly put them on the map. Bambo, all of a sudden, Dakota is level 7.
Whoa.
Now, our Rubik did steal the Sonic Wave. Could be a spell that turns things back in Empire's favor, but... man, it just takes the one fight, huh? It goes from what was getting out of control, a 4,000 gold lead, right back to a manageable 2K, and similar results for the experience. Very big fight. Looked like a disaster for 4 Clovers. They not only gave up first blood, they lost the big stack the TA was farming, and the Axe got most of it, but just like that, an amazing death ward, a very fortunate haster, and a good charge coming in from EGM, and we've got a ball game. It's not going to be a stomp, it seems.
And obviously good heads up for the 4 Clover boys. They recognize that there was a ward there because that's how Waga got caught out. They quickly de-ward it. Speaking of de-warding, you see on the other side, always want to fly, looking to remove that pesky obs. It's going to go down. They also notice a couple of traps nearby. Waga working with a double-stacked Ancient Camp, going to be able to finish that one off. He's got his phase boots. He's got near 2K gold. I got to ask you, LD, in a new day and age, you got to remember they changed up Desolator a bit. It's cheaper now, so you'd think that's just better overall for TA to kind of possibly pick up early. You know, if you're going more offensive, you go with a Desolator. Typically, if you're going more defensive, you lead it with an early BKB. Is this a game where you maybe consider going Desolator first, and they could have the possibility to do something like Roche? Or do you keep defensive? But hold on, you're going to hold that thought. Top lane, they're going to go EGM. Easy kill, easy dunk setup. The alley-oop almost from Aloha Dance to Yoki on that one. They converge. They try to do another, like, late approach and turn things around, but this time Empire are going to be pulling back.
Yeah, I think Deso is definitely a strong choice here. There was that period where we saw... There was a period where it was all Blink TA. That was like the kind of old school original TA in Dota 2 was the way you generally see it played. Then Refraction got nerfed a bit. We started to see more of the phase drums Yasha type builds. Maybe a BKB rush if it was a really difficult situation. We'll see Vangscore trying to do a bit of dewarding. Looks like he'll be punished for this, just way off on his own. Easy takedown for Silent. And they'll try to charge to counter this, but there's no way the cow's going in here. And then after that phase, the phase drums Yasha, then we saw the Midas phase. I don't know if you remember that, back when, it was like Arteezy going mid on the OD, TA type heroes. Sing Sing was getting Midas a lot. And yeah, I feel like maybe the new wave will be that Deso TA. We've seen the Clinks quite a bit, but it turns out Waga goes Blink, so scratch that thought, I guess, at least this game.
You gotta forget, yeah, of course, the Blink seems to be like the bread and butter kind of pickup on a TA when you already have a lineup that's so ridiculously mobile. When your Storm's jumping in, your Spirit Breaker's charging in, the Blink from the Queen of Pain. Why not just make things even more mobile? So he gets his own Blink dagger here. He's rummaging on through. It was just interesting. Vanscore got caught out there from Silent. He went up to do that D-ward, and I guess he just didn't notice he was standing 10 feet from Silent doing the Ancient Camp, so kind of lets himself get caught. Silent just simply turns around, gets the Rupture, finishes off the Ancients, and then steps off to get the kill. So, pretty easy pickings right there.
Yeah, I think it was nighttime when that happened, so he may not have quite had the vision he was looking for, but very unfortunate, as you're saying. Here comes the smoke from Empire, though. Not sure they're going to find anyone. Everybody from 4 anchors, 4 Clovers, heading to the south side of the map.
Looks like both could be coming up short here, or not. It looks like 4 Clovers might be able to run right into Silent. The stars do align. Now he's going to stop off and do the pull camp. They get a nice ward, but here they go. They're going to be moving in. If they get the pullback right away. Now the Grave is going to be here to help him out. See if they can burst him down. They're going to lead in. It's going to be first to self-fuels, and they actually
Oh,
disperse,
no.
but no, they get caught. Quick dunk. It's going to be Bambo going down, and now it's Empire looking to clean up the rest, but already a charge out. That was 4 Clovers moving in. They come across the Bloodseeker, and they're like, I don't like this, and they get the hell back immediately.
Really nice self-fuels there by Silent. Buys them the time they need to turn it. Like you mentioned, there would have been a grave anyway, but it ensures he doesn't even drop low as he'll just continue to farm and push out this middle lane a bit more. Now, I always want to fly moving in. Waga's been doing a really nice job of giving some space to his team. He's been farming the Ancients a lot, letting other heroes take over the lanes, and unfortunately, they need a lot of farm still. Storm still working on the Bloodstone. Is it coming out yet? I think the Soul Booster's ready. So Weehaw having a pretty good time, but I just look at the net worth on Silent, man. He's almost got a BKB already. 11k to the less than 7k of the enemy one position Storm and the close behind him Waga TA. That's a fat Seeker.
It is, I'm very curious to see what 4 Clovers can do to stop him from continuing to get fatter and fatter. We'll have to see if they're able to catch him off on his own. He can't quite self-fuels in time, might be one thing, but at this point he just seems pretty damn big, and we know Empire for being very coordinated with each other. Their chemistry is just second to none, so they will be all hands on deck if trouble does break out.
I love the Yule's pickup here. It's so good with the new Blood Right, just to help ensure that you get that spell off, get the silence. Similar to what we've seen from Secret with the Naga sleep into Blood Right. And obviously has great counterplay potential. If you see yourself getting charged, you can always just Yule's the Spirit Breaker. In fact, that may be the biggest reason of all to get it. And great against potential Orchid carriers like the Queen of Pain and the Storm. So I really like the Yule's pickup, especially this game. I feel like it addresses pretty much all of his needs. And, well, throw a BKB on top of it. Why the hell not?
If you're going to talk about things you like, the one thing I'm just not liking, though, so far for 4 Clovers is the Spirit Breaker grab. I feel like he hasn't been able to, as I said previously, be that enforcer. See now a couple of charges where it's not going to really amount to a whole lot, or they can't get a hold of anyone. Yoki will do a quick blink back. Dazzle has his Brave. Rubik has his Lift, and there's just not a lot of options out there. It's more using charges to just kind of maneuver from lane to lane or get a quick rune. But as far as being able to use it offensively, it just doesn't seem like an option.
Yeah, charge came out from EGM, and then just as quickly, he thinks twice about it. Yoki looking for that blink call mid. We never really talked about it, although I did show it on the screen. Bambo went back for a Midas, which I kind of like this game. I just feel like without the Midas, he would have had absolutely no impact, and I wasn't really even farmed enough to fight, but at the same time, it does mean they've been fighting without him now and trying to control the map for some time, and still he's very poor even with this Midas, well behind every other core in the game. We see 4 Clovers go for a play here though. Top lane, they're moving in with an Invis Waga, and he's out of the Sentry Ward range. Oh, but there's another one to the south, and they do end up finding him.
Yep, they bounce back. Nice scream, though. Does fly through. Aloha Dance going to take it, but he only gets the Shadow Strike. Nice Death Ward again. A lot of damage on the silence, but he's going to get saved up in the Shallow Grave. Now EGM tossed up in his Cyclone. First to go down, going to be Dazzle side by side with Bambo. Charge on forward. Yoki's going to be able to make it back and away. Still a 1-for-1 here, but Yoki getting the call onto EGM. Chops him down. We're going to get a dunk. One more strike could guarantee it, but no, he's going to charge back out and away, and it guarantees a double kill for Waga. Bloodright going to be dropped here. Now they're on pursuit. They want to get the axe here. Waga on the chase. He's going to make it to the high ground here. 2 more seconds. He'd be able to blink away, but Bambo disconnected. Forces out the preemptive pause halfway through. So 6-6. Amidst all this fury, the game is even. Okay, Yoki.
They're fighting so
to
well.
blink out.
I can't believe these fights are going nearly as well as they are for 4 Clovers, and I think part of it is we're not seeing Empire find those great initiations. Like, we have not seen a multiple hero blink call from Yoku. We haven't really seen a good Blood Right yet in a fight, to be honest. At least not in a larger scale fight. I don't think he's gotten more than a 1 hero silence out in most of these engagements. The last one wasn't able to find one. Yoku kind of saves the fight, barely calling Vangscore from around the tree line to prevent the Death Ward from fully channeling. But if Empire get a good fight, I still feel like they wipe the 4 with 4 Clovers. But you give up a couple more of these trades, and suddenly TA might have her BKB or that Deso that you mentioned, and you don't have that margin for error that they currently do. So if they can just pull off maybe 2 more fights like this, maybe even just 1, this could be suddenly 4 Clovers with a devastatingly strong late game and enough space to be able to farm up towards it.
Now, if Waga can get to the high ground and poke him one more time before the blink goes off, they will get a charge from EGM in 3 seconds' time. And obviously you have also Weeha nearby. Only 100 mana to work with, though. But he does have 10 charges now on his Bloodstone. I might be theory crafting out my ears for this potential kill as we wait for this pause, but any extra scraps they can get this game would certainly boost because, as you pointed out, 4 Clovers, where they have not been thriving in the laning phase and finding their own individual farm, they have been winning these fights. And also got to give credit, that was another pretty damn good Death Ward laid out from Vanscore this game. So he's been doing some serious work on the Witch Doctor.
Even though it gets canceled, that fight, it forces out a call that you really want to be using to lock down a hero like the TA or the Storm. So in that sense, yeah, it's still a great Death Ward, and he's been finding the openings. It's Empire just not really finding theirs. I think. Do you know when they Zeus ulted that fight? Because I feel like they fake ulted like they were gonna try and see if 4 Clovers were coming, but he didn't actually let it go, and it doesn't feel like they've been able to use the Zeus ult to get that great vision and set up the fights the way they would like to.
Yeah, you casually threw out one before after picking up a rune just to kind of get a bit of intel as far as what 4 Clovers are up to, but as far as finding a good setup or, looking for a good opportunity to make a clean jump in for your axe, it doesn't seem to kind of be there. So it's been a questionable Zeus game so far from Resolution, but hey, he's got still pretty damn good farm. Soul Booster already has his Force Staff looking to build towards his own Bloodstone, but yeah, doesn't seem to quite be the Resolution we've come to know. And even Silent, with his wealth of farm, hasn't really been able to kind of truck down anyone. He actually ends up walking away pretty damn wounded and won't be able to partake in anything else. And I don't even know if he'll be able to step back and help Yoku in this.
That was the other thing in that fight, was they managed to bring the Bloodseeker low enough that he had to just BKB and run away. And with all the farm concentrate on him, you really want him up in the front lines, like munching on some of these heroes. That's where I feel like the initiation is so important. If they get the initiation, Bloodseeker finds that first kill, then 4 Clovers start running. Yeah, good luck at that point getting away from him. But when you force him back right away, then much easier to deal with. Well, let's see. We're waiting on the Queen of Pain to reconnect, actually, from 4 Clovers. I see some people blaming Empire in the Twitch chat. Not sure what that's about, but
I'm glad to see him back, though. Because
they're going to TI, guys. Come on.
I know yesterday 4 Clovers had some bad luck with, I dare say, the D word here. Now, here we go. They're going to jump on forward. They get the connection onto Yoki. There's going to be that charge, and it looks like this axe might not be getting away here. They're going to continue to slow him down. There's the bump, and there's the kill. And that's technically a triple kill in that fight for Waga. And now he has enough for either his second hammer, or if he's going to go BKB for the Ogre Club, then just needs to finish out the recipe thereafter. So this is a great snowball period for your Templar Assassin this game.
I think you go Deso this game. There is there's like the Bloodseeker silence to worry about and the Zeus, but the way they've been able to start the fights, if they can find those initiations, he's going to just be able to snowball really hard, and yeah, he will go Deso. On paper, maybe a slightly risky item, but I think given the way the fights are unfolding for 4 Clovers, it's a good choice here, and it also opens up that Roshan potential with TA and a Deso. Witch Doctor heal, you could get that Aegis for Storm, and things open up. This is an even game now, Dakota. It looked like Empire were just gonna run away with it after the laning stage, but not the case.
No, not at all. I mean, it is nice they have this good little aggressive ward right over here. Spotted out charge coming in from EGM. It's a nice thing to have when you're going against a Spear Breaker, even if you feel like you're a little bit behind, to make the ballsy attempt to put some of these very deep wards so you could see the rotations that are potentially coming your way and prepare for them, or even utilize them in a sense where you can bait out something like the Spirit Breaker and then turn it right back on his ass. But for now, they're using it more defensively. Aloha Dance will know it's coming, steps back. He had just stolen Paralyzing Cask prior to that, so they do have the extra bit of lockdown there if they so choose to use it. Yoku will be back in about 10 seconds' time. They already are rotating Resolution to this top lane. They might try to make a go here onto Weeha, but they better hope they have enough lockdown to stop him from flying out.
Yeah, and he's got the Bloodstone Deny. If things get really dicey, that's a very difficult kill. And seems they won't attempt it in the end. Any moment now, though, for Clovers, I think they go into Roche. In fact, they may do it now, having seen 2-3 heroes towards the top side of the map. Yeah, Waga, he walks right in, and it's going to be the big boy he looks for. If they can get this Aegis for Storm, that would be absolutely massive for 4 Clovers.
They're pinging out the area, but they're already TPing in. I think Empire know what the hell is up here. Do they have a smoke? They do. There's one always want to fly. They're going to be popping the purple stuff here, I
but
imagine.
They're charging
and
silence, so they saw this.
They saw it. They saw it, and they quickly pull out from that pit. Good heads-up play there from 4 Clovers. Good charge from EGM, and because of it, they are going to be raining on the Empire parade. Now, they're still going to try to utilize this smoke, but I think Empire should have the idea that they've been spotted.
I think at this point they're starting to suspect, given how likely it looked like there would be a Roche attempt. And oh, come on, Thanks, Score, please, my man, you're killing me.
4 Clovers. They had problems apparently yesterday, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we can just get through this. This is the problem, LD, is that we have been fortunate enough and graced with these huge, luxurious LAN events. That
we've been spoiled, man. It's been a while since some good old-fashioned online Dota. Pause Central.
It's been a while since I've gotten to bullshit through a pause, so I have to kind of test those waters.
All right, I'm clapping my hands for some coffee here. Production, save me, please. Production shaking his head.
This isn't, though, feeling like a game where Empire coming in pretty much as 80-20 favorites. You know, this is a team that is just well-versed. Maybe you question that they could be a touch rusty. They had the luxury of being the direct invites to TI5, so they haven't needed to play in the ridiculous qualifiers or maybe these little side, Dota pits, and now they have to come back into the grind and ESL and stuff. They're too cool for that. So, then they come into a show match against Virtus Pro. They get shut out 0-3, and now they're losing a couple of pints to 4 Clovers. I don't know, man. Wasn't it last year at TI? The Empire came in, they were invited, and then I don't know what Empire was actually there. I don't want a reprieve from last year, but you can't help but question.
Historically, Empire tends to falter, like you're saying, around this time of year. This is generally when things start to fall apart. Now, granted, they were not as successful coming into the last TI as they have been coming into this one. They never beat a team that looked like top 3 world, like EG. They certainly didn't win 3 major tournaments or come close to beating one of the other big names at Secret and get to the grand finals of an event like MDL. But that said, it's early. They haven't even lost the one game yet, but it is a little concerning that Empire's not just handling the opposition the way you would expect from an early and pretty solid TI invite.
Now,
let's see, though. They got time to turn it around.
Yeah, Zeus already popped his ult. 4 Clovers saw that, so they smoked thereafter. Waga's like, I'm going to look to finish what I was starting here, but Empire is nearby. There's a DD, but he didn't want to grab it in fear of it being spotted. Resolution, though, going to take it. Looks in the pit, sees Waga working with the Roche, and now they know that 4 Clovers are very itchy to get things going. But here we go. Vanscar drops out the coconut, only going to connect on the one target. Always One Fly is there. Drops up the preemptive weave. He always is the shallow grave just in case. He's going to eat a big right hook from Waga. Lots of damage.
What a grave!
He's going to be there. Just in time for Always Want to Fly, but it's not going to be long enough. The ward will finally help finish it off. They get the dazzle thereafter. Looking like another promising fight for 4 Clovers. Always, oh man, Silent though, able to step on through, gets the cleanup. Bambo and EGM going to be going down here. Silent on the run, gets a nice blood right. Will connect on Vanscore, but not Weehaw. He needs mana though, trying to bottle up, but look at Waga.
Oh, no.
Jumping back, Yogu gets the call. It is onto 2. Big damage onto Waga, and he is going to get dropped. And that's a bounty also going to be picked up there, and Weehaw's going to be forced to evacuate. Vanscore, though, not so lucky. Tries to TP, going to get telekinesis, and this is going to be a significant fight, finally in the favor of Empire. And a pause.
That looked like it was going to be another good fight for 4 Clovers. They had the 2-for-1 trade, and then Waga went in, and the team was just not on the same page. He blinks forward on top of the X. Dire team didn't. I think they had vision around that area. They have this ward planted down, so I think they even knew the axe was nearby, but maybe communication issues here, or potentially even just the general lag everyone seems to be experiencing coming into play is, yeah, they just go in one by one at that point, and they give up 2 additional kills, and Instead of a 2-for-1, it ends up being a 3-for-2. Like you said, the fight that Empire needed, and a concern when Silent BKBs and runs in, you gotta have the Spirit Breaker ultimate ready to deal with him. If he doesn't get locked down or death warded, he's just going to create chaos, basically, more than anything. And he forced like 3 heroes to just run the hell away early on in Empire. Finally, a decent fight. Not even a great fight, but a decent one.
A fight where I didn't really get to watch what Bambo in particular was doing, but he didn't even get to use his Sonic Wave. I mean, I don't know exactly what happened, if it was a lag issue or not, but he got shut down before the opportunity even arose. But now it's going to be Empire looking to take away this Roche. Weeha's there, though. We're going to get a little bit of that Sumail treatment. A Grand Theft Aegis, well, they already have the blood ready to go. He's going to go for the jump in, a pullback, a little preemptive here. Charge flying out from EGM. They're going to get the buff back onto Yoku. Weeha looking to walk away, has no more mana. Another strike is going to be there. Yoku, a lot of damage. They look to charge in. Big Sonic Wave to fly out, but there's a nice grave. They're going to finish off the Dazzle. They're going to finish off the Axe thereafter. If 4 Clovers take this fight, they'll take the Roche right after. And Aloha Dance could be next. Big Zeus ult to fly. That means Aloha Dance is going to clean up the rest with a double kill. Bambo looking to fight strong. Gets the finishing blow. Will blink away from trouble. Waga's now here. He wants to finish the Roche. What a jump in from Weeha. Gets the pullback onto Resolution, stopping him from ejecting out from this fight. So he's going to get taken out, and that is an Empire wipe. 4 Clovers also take the Roche, and it's a double kill for Bambo. Oh my God. Just after praising Empire for getting their first big fight, 4 Clovers, well, they get lucky enough to take that one.
You want to see a big fight? We'll show you a big fight. Oh, mama, that was hideous. Very greedy to go for the Roche there, I have to say. Like, you know that even if Storm dies, he's going to be right back with the Bloodstone. You're up against the Master Aegis Jacker. They also did not deward the pit because they didn't have a sentry. They only had, I believe, dust on the Rubik, and you have to expect there's going to be a trap in there. This is just cookie cutter TA play, really. I think a cocky from Empire, maybe underestimating 4 Clovers, and that might be one fight too many that they've underestimated them. Dakota, finally the graph tips towards even. Experience now, even going the 4 Clovers way. On top of that, they have an Aegis, not on the Storm, who I think is the slightly better hero to carry it, but still TA a decent candidate with several big low cooldown spells that can make a difference, mainly the refraction. And this is all of a sudden at least an even game, if not straight up favoring 4 Clovers.
Yoku needs to step off, and he picks up a Ghost Scepter here, which I guess in a sense is understandable. It's obviously very good against the TA. Good against Storm Spirit. You gotta remember, Storm Spirit needs those right clicks just to achieve his mass amounts of burst damage. But if your Axe is going more defensive with the Ghost Scepter, then something feels a bit off. Now he's in more of just a position to hopefully lock them in place, not take too much damage, so that the rest of his team can help clean up. Just feels a bit awkward to me. Oh, DD going to be snagged up from Waga. Aloha Dance able to seal the refraction here, but I don't know if it's going to be enough of a bubble to save him from the trouble that's coming. And, well, he does get help. Waga decides to retreat here, and Empire do save their Rubik ally.
They're definitely not going in on that, that's for sure. Here's what our Bloodseeker is going to go for. All right, Silent, we'll be going AC. This will help a lot against the TA and mitigate some of that incoming physical damage, which seems to be the biggest issue right now. Is Waga just gets off one good melt strike and a hero's almost dead and just has to be graved right away, and then they just turn on the Dazzle, or if it is the Dazzle, then he can't defend his teammates. AC will help with this a bit, but we just haven't seen the strength of the Zeus Bloodseeker combo. It feels like there hasn't been one fight in 20 plus minutes where they've gotten a good blink call into the Blood Rage Zeus ult, and get a couple of heroes low and then snowball the fight from there. We haven't seen it. 4 Clovers have been ready. Good warding, the anticipation. They got the vision from the charge that allowed them to dodge that earlier smoke gank. They've just been prepared for Empire shenanigans and really haven't given anything up.
I'm sure their confidence continues to build up. When you're taking down a team like Empire in these fights, you're feeling pretty damn good. I mean, maybe the only thing that's kind of discrediting their confidence is the bits of lag here and there, but the more they continue to come out on top, the more they're going to continue to stride and feel more comfortable about taking these kind of fights. And now they're itemizing a bit better. You have EGM able to finish out his Glimmer Cape. on this Spirit Breaker could help for
Dire's
himself
top
if he's able to
tower
lead
is
off a
under
fight and
attack.
get out safely, and obviously
structures
anyone
are
else on his
fortified.
team who just kind of needs that extra bit of resistance. Now they're inching towards this mid-tier 1 valued target. See if they'll be able to get him, but here comes Yoku thinking about to jump in. They get a nice telekinesis back. They're going to follow up with that call. Waga stuck in a bit of rough, but he does have that agent. Weehaw going to be jumping in. Preemptive BKB from him. Gets the pull on the silent. Changes target. Bamboo. The Sonic Wave going to be flying on out. They get the Grave onto Yoki, but they get the burst down into EGM, who's going to be dropped. Vanguard looking to move in, and he's going to get taken out. So not a very effective death ward this run around. Weehaw trying to make a run. He's going to have to suicide. Oh, it's disaster for Clovers in this one. Waga, the lone survivor, is going to help finish off the tower, but now he's on the run. But can he make it away? Oh, he cannot. Dunked and taken apart. It's a 5-man wipe the other side, including the extra Aegis life. Empire, I don't want to say it. They strike back.
Oh man, what a great fight for Empire. Standout player to me, definitely the Rubik play of Aloha Dance. Steals the Sonic Wave, throws it back the other way, almost did as much damage as his Zeus, who I believe was Blood Rage for at least some of that fight, and finally they find some quick kills there. Silent able to isolate the Spirit Breaker, brings him down in the middle of the fray. It was with a good death ward too. Vangscore got like the full duration death ward off from around the tree line, but didn't really manage to finish anyone off very quickly. Dazzle able to get the heals out. I think the weave was going throughout that fight, so mitigate a lot of the incoming physical damage, as we will see Yoku picked off. Weehaw able to somewhat salvage or mitigate a bit of the losses with the Bloodstone deny, but overall, finally, Empire. We've been wanting just one good fight. They finally got it.
I was just praising 4 Clovers and feeling a bit more confident for taking fights, and that one has got to hurt a little bit here, but we'll see if they stay composed, and as you said, Weehaw able to get the solo pick. Helps a bit, but it's Empire now very aggressive wards place. You see one up here at the top place to get that extra bit of vision behind the tier 2, so they know Weehaw's there. They got one preemptively in the jungle. They will see the movement that 4 Clover's going to be putting out there, especially at a time when the second Roche will be coming up and they'll have an idea if 4 Clovers are going to be going for it or playing a bit more reserved. I think Empire just now back in a solid standing. Resolution down here solo, couldn't get jumped, but there is a tier 1 to rotate to. The two of them have enough power. They have to wait 6 more seconds for a Sonic Wave, but Resolution already a bit hesitant. Even scouting out the nearby tree side. Doesn't see anyone, but will still hightail it out of there.
He is scouted, as you mentioned, with the ward here. Maybe they try to make a play on him. They have the charge ready to go. Gone for the value Glimmer Cape here on EGM, as he's actually he's going on mid, but Bloodseeker quickly throwing himself up in the air. Dodge that one and then just walks away. As we see, meanwhile, bottom lane, a Glyph coming out. Bamboo able to force that, but also the quick rotation, protecting the tower. Aloha Dance now looking to make a play on Bamboo. That stolen Quap opponent's cooled down,
man.
routed by Resolution. Simply a thing of beauty. And then Aloha Dance able to steal the Scream after that and get it off again, just to help secure that kill.
That's crazy. I mean, gives him a taste of his own medicine. A nice Sonic Wave to the face, even gets the Scream when it's done. And with that, they also deny the tower. Heartbreaking there for 4 Clovers.
He's gonna have an egg soon, by the way. He's only 500 gold off an Ags on the Rubik, and I mean, some big spells this game. The Witch Doctor Death Ward, the Queen of Pain ult, and then the Spirit Breaker ultimate. That is 3 big ults to grab, and not to mention just the lower cooldown. To me, Aloha Dance right now, putting the team on his back. 6, 2, and 7. It's reflected in the scoreboard. Sometimes it's not on supports, but this is one of those games where they're getting the credit both publicly and under the radar that they deserve.
He even has just more of a mana pool in case he manages to steal the Ball Lightning, so every little bit will help this game, and the mobility could just work to their benefit. And we'll have to see. Now in a good standing here, still plenty of tier 2s rather to burst through, but can't help but feel like there's still going to be a lot of tension around this Roche pit. We're going to see the 8-minute timer come to a close here, and we'll get an idea as far as how long it's going to take, but Empire pretty much taken this game back at this point. They win another big fight, then things could be very, very difficult. 4 Clovers, though, consider charging out. View on silent, but he's already on the retreat. As Empire fully converge now for this top lane, they know exactly what 4 Clovers are doing because of that aggressive ward in a very unusual spot. I mean, if they sentry the high ground, but that's too obvious. They could see it. But here we go, Yoki jumping in. Not close enough for the call, but for now just gets out of battle hunger. And they're looking to just finish off this tier 2.
Dyer's
Empire
top
really
tower is
starting to
under
get out
attack.
and active on the map, and 4Clovers doing the split push game. We'll see Bambo trying to trade a bit bottom for some creep momentum, but it does cost them the tower, leaving them now with only 2 outer towers remaining. A 1 tower advantage overall for Empire. Next row should be up fairly soon. In fact, it's a quick respawn, Dakota. It's already ready, and see if 4Clovers try to make a play on it. They definitely have the faster Roche lineup overall with the TA, and position where they could potentially snag this one, but it's a bit risky to just walk into the pit and go for it. Sure, they team wiped Empire the last time, but you can't really count on the fights unfolding the way they did there.
Yeah, I worry about potential of this TA as the game goes on. But we'll see. Building even more into this DPS. That's the Crystalist now. So he's still on a good farm pace here. Number 3 as far as net worth. Their top guy on 4Clovers is still Weehaw. He's got 3,500 gold. What is the item this game for your Storm Spirit?
Probably Hex mid lane. Meanwhile, just missed the initiation there. Yoku able to blink in, finds Bambo for the solo kill. Reinforcements were a bit slow. They had the ward here. Actually, they've got 2, so they have a decent idea there's no backup in the neighborhood. I think probably Hex is your item here for Weehaw. He's already got the BKB Bloodstone. It's way too late for an Orchid. And they've already gone for a late Orchid anyway on Bambo, or at least they're trying to complete it, I believe. Where are the components? Yeah, okay, he's got it on the courier now. I think probably Hex into Shivas is your build here. But against the Dazzle especially, you really just want to be able to find that quick kill, prevent him from getting off a good grave, and he is very squishy, so that's what I'm expecting. But for now, Weehaw sitting on about 4.5k and does go Mystic staff, so most likely will be that Hex.
It's a big Roche. It's no surprise Empire's able to take it, but it's a very devastating one for Clovers. It felt like if they wanted to really keep themselves in good standing for this game, they'd have to take that Roche, but obviously not going to get the luxury of doing so. Empire also recognizing that. They take it for themselves.
Dyer's
And now they look to
bottom tower is
rummage.
under
They're
attack.
hunting through the 4Clovers jungle here with these nice aggro wards. They know Weehaw's in the area, but it's going to be heading further to the west. So with that, they just kind of truck down
Dyer's
this
middle
mid
tower
lane.
is under
They're going to go
attack.
right for tier 2s with that Aegis advantage here. And now we have to question, LD, 4Clovers in their high ground defense. How good is it, and is it going to be good enough to stop Empire from infiltrating?
Answer is not that great, and they have to be careful here. Their best high ground spell is the Death Ward. But there's an Ags on the enemy Rubik. You do not want to be giving that away. They'll blink initiate, quickly blowing up one. Now the turn from Waga attempted. Goes in with the BKB. That's a 3-hero charge. Good counter initiate. The Death Ward going off in the meanwhile. Aloha Dance not able to steal this one, unfortunately. Now goes for the grab, but he won't find anything too big. Just the Electric Vortex. Still they chase forward. Silent just wants that first kill to snowball the fight, and didn't have the Blood Rage on himself, it looks like. So doesn't get the life steal. He will lose the Aegis. Waga, however, going to drop as an exchange, and still the fight raging on Bambo, or rather EGM somehow in the middle of it all, ends up falling. 4 heroes drop in the end. It costs them an Aegis, but that's about it, and unless there's 4 buybacks, this is going to be at least
Dyer's
1 lane of
structures are
Rex.
fortified.
Yeah, and, well,
Dyer's middle tower
Waga's
is
still
under
out.
attack.
The only buyback available
Dyer's
on
middle tower
EGM.
has fallen.
This is an easy Rax. We'll see if Empire decide to
Dyer's middle
segue into a
barracks are
second
under
set,
attack.
or if they'll just walk away with the big winnings and take things a bit slower paced. And it looks
Dyer's
like they're going to go
middle
for the
barracks
former
are
here.
fallen.
They head right towards the top lane, going to go for a tier 3, and there's really not much 4Clovers can do about it. Yeah, Weehaw forced to just wait and wait.
Dyer's top
But here we
tower
go.
is
He's going to make
under
a long
attack.
jump,
Dyer's
anything he
top
can to
tower
at least
has
burst
fallen.
through them. Shivas and all, TP's back. Now Bambo back from the dead.
Dyer's
Has
top
the
barracks
Sonic
are under
Wave, but
attack.
just like that,
Dyer's
we've already
top
seen as of
barracks have fallen.
yesterday, this Bloodseeker, once he has the damage, could just chunk
Dyer's
right
top
through
barracks
these
have
structures.
fallen.
But here we go. 4Clovers don't want to let him
Dyer's
leave
middle tower is
with
under
all of
attack.
that. So they charge on in. They're going to go for Aloha Dance. Get saved with the Shallow Grave. If he can go for a quick snag, he'll get something very profitable here. They already dropped Van Score. Aloha Dance still alive and well. They get the dunk to finish off EGM. And it looks like this could be the beginning of the end for 4Clovers. Weehaw not going to be able to make it out, and they already call it. Waga the first to say it. Empire going to be taking game number 1 of this best of 3.
I think it really shows you some of the weaknesses of the 4Clovers draft, that they had so many, like, frankly, just outplay fights where they just dominate Empire in terms of execution as a team, and they still have one bad fight, they give up the Roche, and they just can't defend mid. It was a pretty greedy draft. It was Queen of Pain offlane, goes back for Midas after getting shut down, which I think was the right item this game, but